Hello and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. My name is Dante Renee. This is where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Tonight's movie is 1976's The Thousand Shades of Doriana Gray by Mr. Jess Franco, also known as Die Marquise von Sade. I'm blanking some of the cover here. This is part of the Jess Franco Golden Goya Collection region-free German Blu-rays that you can get on diabolicdvd.com by Ascot Elite. These look unbelievable. And these are very hard to get and they're very expensive, but save up some money and here you go, you get them. They look unbelievable, probably the best they're ever going to look on these HD transfers, and with a slew of special features as well. I know Full Moon Pictures recently put out some of these films that were produced by Erwin C. Dietrich, part of the Jess Franco Golden Goya Collection. I know Full Moon Pictures put some of these out, just some of them, but I definitely know that this is the best way that they look, and this is the rarest way, and they're Blu-rays. So let's get into this film right here. First and foremost, I got to tell you that this film is very radical, and it is a film of contrasts. It is a very, very harsh, brutal, extreme film, loud, abrasive, but yet it is also one of his softest films and most serene films, and most beautiful films, and quietest. So you take those contrasts together, and you really have a lot of the makeup of this particular piece here by Mr. Jess Franco. So this is a film of contrasts, no doubt. This is also a film where you can see Lina Romay is on the cover. She's really holding this film. She's playing two different characters in this film. And you will also be seeing some other characters in this film that are Jess Franco regulars. As the story goes, this film was actually filmed either simultaneously or right after Barbed Wire Dolls, which I've also reviewed on this YouTube page, also part of the Jess Franco Golden Goya Collection, produced by Erwin C. Dietrich. This is one of Jess Franco's films that does have hardcore sex in it, and that real sex from the actors that are in the film, including Lina Romay, oral, intercourse, scissoring, 69ing, all of that. This is a extremely, that said, this is an extremely, this is a film of poetry. This is a film of deep philosophical poetry, poetic insight. This is a very, very kind of elusive, slow, yet abrasive type of film. And I want to get into this most definitely. This is not a film that can be summarized easily at all. This is an experience like all of Jess Franco's films, but this is really almost poetry, almost feelings in cinematic form. Poetry and feelings in cinematic form, really here. But essentially, we have a woman who has a traumatic past from birth, feels lost, alone, even in her own body. And we have themes in this film. We have themes of the fading beauty of a woman as she gets older, and the corruption of beauty as you get older, as it deteriorates and rots away. We have themes of hedonism, the beauties, and the negatives, which is another theme that you'll see in Franco's films, which is sex without love and sex with love. The way that they interact, which one's better? Okay, these are definitely themes. And being lost and alone, solitaire, not relating to people, being an outcast of sorts. These are themes that are running through this film that you'll find in other Franco films, but in particular, this is definitely one here. Also, connections between people. So, the isolation of somebody, but also the connections, the deep connections between people. Also, mental illness, murder, rape, confidants. This is really, wow. let's start off here. Let's start off with the music in this film. The music is done by Walter Baumgartner, who has done a lot of Franco films. He's one of the people that has done a lot of Franco films. Walter Baumgartner. The music in this film is very, very soft and serene and quiet. It is not like a typical Franco film where the music is one of the actors, it's in the forefront. No, not at all. We have very, very quiet pieces, orchestrated pieces of music in this film, very soft pieces of music. And we also have, for the majority of the film, mysterious pieces of like sitar and guitar playing that kind of have an ethnic, mysterious, Jess Franco, weird, dark world vibe, and it kind of runs throughout the film. We also have the sounds of animals for the sound design in this film, the sounds of animals in the forest and the jungle that surrounds the mansion where this film really takes place, the sounds of water, the sounds of wind, and then silence as well. Jess Franco's style in this movie, the cinematography, the shooting, you have somewhat of a bare bones approach at times, where the camera seems like it moves a lot more than what you're used to in Hollywood. You have play with mirrors in this film, which is Jess Franco regular. One mirror in particular that is very peculiar, very very antique and weird, and almost seems to have to go through itself many times, and it's almost a weird piece of ancient art, this mirror. And even mirror work with Lena herself mimicking the themes of this film and the storyline of this film as Lena looks into the mirror. This is some very deep, freaking stuff here, folks, for a film that has hardcore sex. Very deep stuff. For a film that was made quickly. For a film that was made with no money. This is insane. Okay? This is insane, and we know from looking at Franco, I know that he liked to work avant-garde improv off the cuff a lot of the time, off impulse, off what he wanted, off what he liked. We have and to be able to do that type of philosophical, deep, poetic work, artistic work in this film, it's crazy. Let's go into more stuff. We also have a lot of pieces in this film where he's shooting from the ground up shots. No, not upskirts, up shots. And making the people look very large. And similar to that, he's doing things where people are constantly walking into the camera. It looks like, right before he probably yelled cut, they banged into the camera. That kind of stuff, where the person kind of approaches into the camera, fills up the entire camera, and then the cuts. He also does stuff with focus, predominantly in the sex scenes in this movie, in the hardcore sex scenes in this film. The focus is stuff that I've never seen before. For example, a lot of times something will go out of focus and you'll see, like if two people are kissing and it goes out of focus and then it comes back into focus and you see them kissing again, it's like they went to another room of the house. No, it's the same exact scene. There's no lapse in time. It seems like it's just continuing, except he went out of focus, cut, then went back into focus, the same time, the same scene. And he's doing wild things with focus, which is something that is common in Franco films, where it's almost like you can't see what's happening. It's almost like you can't distinguish what you're looking at, and it almost becomes like a piece of abstract modern art on your TV screen, on the movie screen, where you don't know what you're looking at because it's so out of focus and so up close. He also does some extreme, this film so far, from what I've seen of Franco's work, and I've seen a lot of it so far, this has the most gynecological shots I've ever seen in cinema in general, and also in his films. You will see the vagina closer than you've ever seen it before in your entire life. Closer, even a bit inside. I mean, this almost borderline medical. And the way that he's shooting this, the way that he's doing this is disturbing, bizarre, artistic, erotic, weird, all of the above. I really, dark, twisted, very confrontational, very shocking, possibly fetishistic, I pronounced that correctly. A lot of huge body length mirrors in this, not mirrors, windows in this film that allow natural lighting in and glows and sun. In one particular scene in the daylight, it really, you can feel the warmth of the scene. You can start to feel warm even if you're in a cold area watching the movie. And a lot of sailboats in this movie, a lot of moving water, ocean, lakes, and that's something that Franco always uses, but in this particular film he almost redefines or defines kind of the purpose of the moving water, the waves, the boats. He kind of makes a connection, story-wise, theme-wise, with that in this film. I'm looking at a couple things that I wrote here so I don't forget. There are a lot of kind of Greek-style looking pillars in this film. And so sometimes it looks like definitely handheld, like the camera's kind of moving around pillars, moving around, different things in different areas. And I got to tell you that the architecture of this film is ridiculous. Where did he get these places from? I say this all the time, but where did he get these places from? I mean, it looks like it literally is a mansion in the jungle. This beautiful, lush, tropical paradise of a jungle in the middle. It looks like in the middle of nowhere, this humongous stone mansion on top of this jungle hill. And the inside has like indoor gardens, the most amazing bath I've ever seen in my life. Moving water, tiger heads dispelling water on the outside of the mansion, beautiful marble floors, Greek, almost like Greek architecture, stuff you would see in ancient Greece, like these pillars and walls, and oh my gosh, it's some of the most amazing rooms and architecture I've seen in a Franco film, hands down. And the architecture, really plays a role also in the film, predominantly in the way that water is a theme in this film. Water, and in the end of the film, and in the beginning of the film, how the beginning and the end of the film connect, and in the middle of the film. Okay, and then the way liquid also is being portrayed and connected with death and murder in this particular film. This is an abrasive film. This has very disturbing, creepy moments. If you ever wanted to see a movie that had hardcore sex in it that was disturbing and creepy and weird and confrontational, this would be the film. Is the sex in this film really erotic? I'm going to have to be honest with you here. In a lot of Franco films, I think it is. In this film, I don't really think it is. It's very disturbing. It's very bizarre. You are going to see bodily fluids. Yes, real ejaculation, it seems, in this film. And there are almost some themes connecting with a film with Lena Romay called The Female Vampire, which I will look at in the future on this YouTube page. But the way sex, the way intercourse, the way oral sex can be connected with murder, be connected with intimacy with someone not even in the room. I don't have to talk about the sex here, folks. I mean, this is, like I said, it is the sex that happens in here, heterosexual, lesbian. It is real. It's the real deal. And it is very confrontational. Some of the most confrontational sex I've ever seen in cinema. And mixing that with this art house type environment, not a lot of modern filmmakers today, like Lars von Trier and stuff. I love those guys, Gaspar Noé and all these people. They're using, kind of real sex in their films and things like that. I got to tell you something here, folks. I've never seen anybody use it the way Franco did in this film. This is this is not a film that is like trying to be shocking, it seems. It's not trying to shock you, yet it will. It's a film that seems like a normal movie. It's just it's a film that is playing out, but it's not playing by the rules at all. It's not normal at all. Who is this marketed towards? Who is this for? Who is this movie for? The Thousand Shades of Doriana Gray, folks. Here it is, right here. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. Check out all my other Jess Franco reviews, as well as other movies I believe need to be talked about more. Check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopydiarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.